Good morning, Ann.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you doing?
Good. How was your weekend?
It was nice. We had family get together yesterday up in Sausalito for a baby shower of my wife's brother.
Oh,
That was kind of cute.
nice.
How about you?
It was busy. I got to babysit my grandson
Oh, that's excellent.
overnight at our house, so I'm a little tired.
That's exhausting. That's the best part about being grandparent. You can send them home when you get tired.
Yeah, exactly.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, North.
Hello.
Good morning, Will.
Hi. Good morning. Hello, Ann and Paul.
Good morning, Will. How are you?
Good, good.
I think we're all here. Wait a minute and we can go ahead and get started.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm here.
Good morning, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Morning.
We're just about a minute early here, so we should wait till 11 to start. It doesn't look like we have any participants from the public at this point.
Correct.
I'm not hearing you clearly.
Can you
You're
hear
kind
me?
of choppy.
I'm choppy?
Yeah, your picture's frozen right now.
It might be you.
Yeah,
Could be.
everyone's good for me except you, Paul.
Yeah, you're a little choppy for us.
Yeah, now it must be me. I don't know what's going on.
You want to try turning off video?
Should I get out and come back in?
Or just turn off video and participate audio only? That might reduce the bandwidth necessary.
It shouldn't be. I'm in my office and we just increased to a much higher speed. It should be no problem. I've never had one. Still bad?
That seems okay right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave it.
No.
Is it okay?
No. It's choppy.
I'm gonna leave and come back in.
Okay.
Any better?
Say something more.
Yeah. Everybody's choppy to me.
You sound a little bit better.
Yeah, you do. I can't totally tell.
Although he's frozen
Yeah,
now.
I mean, you guys are still though kind of frozen to me, so it's definitely me.
Yeah, your video's pixelating.
That's. Let me stop the video. Does that make a difference?
Yep.
In the audio?
Yep. I think I can hear you clearly at least.
Yes, I can too, Paul.
That's bizarre because, like I said, we just upgraded to a much higher speed, and it should be the opposite. It should be better, but okay. I'll leave the video off.
All right. Will, you got the floor.
All right. I'm just going to share the screen instead here. I I won't go for too long, so I'm able to address any questions as well. But let me just share the screen here real quickly. Thank you. All right. Are you able to see the screen? Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yep.
So today we're here to go through any changes. And let me go to this page here. But we're here to go through any recommended changes to the investment of policy for FY21-2, and then also to go through our recommendations for how we should invest our funds. And then I'll also give just a brief overview of the economy today. So I would say in a total about 10 minutes, and then again towards the end we'll go to questions. So there are a couple of changes that are currently being proposed. I won't go through each of the changes, but in yellow on the screen are the key changes that are being proposed. For item 2, we're proposing that for anyone issuance of certain types of investments, that we take it from a 10% down to 5%. We don't anticipate that this will impact our return a lot, but it will help to ensure that diversification is achieved, and then also also under item 3, just changing the criteria to choose a medium term notes, but it would still ensure that they are of a high grade. So it's not a it's not a big change, but it would just down the criteria for how we achieve those. And also under item number item number of item number of item number of our just to specifically state anything that is a prohibited, and also that if this were to ever occur, that we also could invest in either a zero or a negative interest items that are backed by the U.S. Government itself. We don't expect that this would occur, but it just puts it into a place in a case. And then also we would give the council a report each a month that would show anything that we purchase, sell, anything that gets called, and also anything that does mature. And so this would be in addition to the report that we give a council each quarter. And we anticipate that in the same way that we present a report to a council for appeals and claims, that it also would go onto a consent. So around the end of June, the total investment portfolio it equaled about 56 million in a total. It did increase from the year before. It's mainly due to the measure of bonds that were taken out. And also in FY 21, we did attempt to stress liquidity, just due to COVID, and also to ensure that we were able to pay our bills, that we were able to continue to pay AP, payroll, and just due to the overall uncertainty that came with COVID. But for this for the current year, we propose that we again return to the a typical goals of safety, liquidity, and a return in that particular uh, uh, order. And also that we keep a liquidity target of a three months in a total. We still propose that when we can that we keep our funds in the life pool, but also when we can to explore other types of tools that would stretch out a term, but also to increase what we're able to earn. The life pool currently is only earning about 0.33%, and we expect by the end of December that it will go down to about 0.2 to 0.23%. So right now, through the end of December, we still expect that it will be quite low. But in terms of the fixed income, fixed income market in general, all across these different terms, it's still quite low. It's due to it's due to Fed in their attempts to keep interest rates low, so that they're able to help the economy, help the economy to recover, and to keep a personal and a corporate debt cost personal and corporate debt costs low. So we expect has to stay low. I'd say over the next 1 to 2 years, and typically we attempt to go out to 3 to 5 years. And so anytime that we're able to extend out the term year, we will attempt to, but we try to not go out too far, so that we've got enough cash to continue to pay our bills from either AP, a check run to a check run, but also a payroll, a period to payroll as well. So in terms of the economy in general, we saw good GDP growth in Q1. The general consensus is that it will continue through the end of the current year, and it also will continue through the next two, but it should be quite strong through the end of December. We're still a bit cautious because COVID's not entirely under control. The cases are the cases over the past month, they've jumped up. They aren't they aren't to the degree that we saw in December, but they are up due to Delta. So there is still a concern, but we're still we are still hopeful that GDP growth and the economy in general will continue to recover in the current year. But also a additional concern is the overall inflation rate. It is right now high. It's expected that over a time that will go down, but it really should be typically about 2%. So it is right now a concern. But retail spending in June, it did show about 18% outgrowth, and also the other components of the components of the economy are also still strong, and job growth continues. Campbell and the county are a bit better than the state, and also a bit better than the country in general. But there are still people who are unemployed across the country, and also across the state and county, and in Campbell as well. So in terms of the next steps, we'll again go through a discussion today, go through any questions, and then also anything that we discuss today, we will again present it to council, and if the full council is okay, then the changes that are being proposed for the current year would then go into effect. So with that, I will end it and return it to the group.
Can't unmute.
So I'll just comment. I don't really have any questions. Will, you highlighted the changes in your summary pages, which was really good. Pretty much what you highlighted on this presentation in yellow is pretty much what I highlighted on the 3 pages you gave us. It was the same exact stuff. So I think it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't look like any of these changes mandate immediate changes in our investments and things like that. So, I'm fine with it. I don't think I have any questions. The changes are make sense, and they're not dramatic, really.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have any questions. It seems like it's a status quo. We're not really making any changes.
Yeah. I mean,
Go ahead.
Oh, no. I mean, the things that we are changing. I don't anticipate that they would be a big impact. And they won't cause us to either sell anything that we currently own. So yeah, it shouldn't be a big change impact.
The one thing that I noted was this delivery versus payment addition to the policy, and is that? Can you explain that just a little bit more? Why is that being added in? Or
yeah, it's the way that we typically purchase, and it's only being put in so that it's so that it is clear that it's the way that we purchase. So when say that we were to purchase a T-bill, or that we were to purchase a CD, or anything that we were to purchase, when we work with outer, we first put our cash into an account. It's through a BNY, and when the funds are confirmed, then what we purchased then gets put into our account. It's typically all done on the same day, but we put it into the current year, just so it's just so it's clear.
Okay, thank you, Will.
Thanks, Will. I apologize, everyone. I'm having troubles with my control on muting. I was going to tee up that discussion, so I couldn't get my controls. My Zoom's semi-frozen, but I'm able to temporarily unmute here. And I appreciate that. Will, can you talk a little bit about the reducing the AAA standard or to the A standard and the risk that runs to the organization, or the lack of risk? Just perhaps we can address that.
Yeah. So what we would propose for for just the medium term notes is to take it down from AA, which would be which would be the upgrade to A, which is still quite a chud. And so the overall risk that we would be taking on, it's not a great deal of additional risk per state law. Public agencies are able to invest in anything A or above. We chose in the past to go with AA, but it would still be okay to go with A. And I also don't expect that our rest would jump up a lot, and we would still adhere to all state which does tend to be quite restrictive. So again, it's not taking on a great deal of additional risk.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate that.
No problem.
And according to the policy, the red line policy, that only applies then to the medium term notes. Is that correct? The
Yeah.
rest of the, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think you're on mute, Brian. Oh.
All right.
There you go.
Let's try that. Sorry, my controls are not working. It's semi-frozen, but I'll use the space bar here to unmute myself. I appreciate that, Will, and want to make sure there's time if there's other questions of the committee. I mean, it's pretty standard what we're doing here. Not a lot of changes, but if there's other questions, Ann or Paul?
No other questions. I mean, the only two things I had coming in, you answered, which was, are the 10% to 5% going to cause us to be selling things off? And the one you just answered, going down to high grade, what's that mean? But you covered it all. I think this is fine as is.
And any additional comments?
I'm good. I thank you for the report. It's a good report, Will. And
yeah, appreciate it.
Okay, so I think that's good. And I guess is it appropriate to ask the committee to make a motion to recommend the proposed changes, or at least that the committee would support the proposed changes?
Sure, I'll make the motion if we have to have one to support the changes as offered.
And I'll second.
All right, we'll consider that unanimous of the committee. I appreciate that input with two of you. And then this will be on the 17th. I believe, Will, you're going to be not at that meeting presenting?
Correct.
And Nort will be presenting. So if there's any questions, Nort will be handling that item on the agenda on the 17th.
Correct. Typically, we put it onto a consent, and I also would put it on to a consent. But if it does get upheld, Harriet will be there to address it.
Thank you. And I suppose if there's questions, we'll probably field those in advance as well. So hopefully it can stay on consent, but we will see. All right. Anything else from the committee before we adjourn this?
No, I was just going to say it's interesting to see the numbers and projections for like CPI, which has changed quite a bit in the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
That impacts other things. So that information will be interesting, I think, to everybody to see.
I agree. That is interesting. And any closing comments?
Oh, I think you're on me, Brad.
And then if there's nothing else, we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Nort.
Okay, now. Thank you.